Welcome to this episode of Rolling History. This week we're going to tear into the rear end. We're going to pull it out of the car, take it apart, and hope that it's not in too bad a condition. So let's go get started. Okay, so here is the project for today. We're going to take that rear end out of the car. It's still just hanging there from when I took the transmission out, this tube right here. I think that's called the torque tube. And then if you can see all this, some more roadside repairs here. I don't believe that spring right there is stock. And then even down here, I guess it had a little too much play because they have these little things in here to space it out. So I'm not sure what that's all about, but I'm sure we'll figure it out. Anyways, I don't think it's going to be too hard to get it out, but getting it apart might be a trick. I'm not sure because of these bars, these brake bars here. That's going to make it kind of tricky. So we'll see. There we go. There we go. Here it comes. Okay, I got all those bolts off of the shackles down there, but I'm thinking I'm going to take that muffler off now, because once I get the rear end out of here, it's going to be resting on that little tailpipe, and I don't want that. So time for the muffler to come off, and then I think maybe even the leaf springs at this point. Then I can put the frame on some jack stands and it'll be just fine. These are square nuts here, and I don't have any sockets for that, so I'm gonna have to do it by hand here. Okay, that'll be safe. Don't you love that wiring job there? This guy was an expert. So I have the frame here up on some jack stands and took the pressure off the rear end. And you can see right here the bolt that holds the leaf springs together is broken. This is the original spring on the driver's side, so I'll have to replace that. And the other side's all right, but I already knew that because I put it on. And that's the wrong leaf spring anyway, so that one makes no difference. So now I'm just gonna disconnect these little clevises here and free it up the rest of the way and take off the leaf springs, so I don't have to drag it out of there. I can actually use it take it out on the jack, and then we'll get it out. This side's easy, obviously, because I never really tightened it down when we picked the car up. Okay, I've got it pretty much out. The only problem is I don't really have anywhere for it to go, so I'm gonna have to pull it out a little bit, and then we're gonna move the frame for the day. So here we go. All right, let me clean up a little bit and move the frame forward. Now that I have the frame out of the way, I'm going to take this rear end apart, but what I would like to do is take the front tube off and then put the rest on the workbench and take it apart. Right now it's too heavy for me to lift up there, but I believe that cotter pin right there will let me take those 2 brake rods off. So I'm going to try that, see if I can get the brake rods off and work my way through it. Okay, the cotter pin on this side is pretty out in the open, so I thought I'd try that one first. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's a big cotter pin. It's coming, but it's coming slow. Okay, now let's see what that does. Okay, well, man, that's crazy. Looks like this side, I'm gonna get the wire brush, but it looks like there's a pin in there also. Not a cotter pin, just a roll pin. Okay, so I put my punch in here and punched out the pin that was holding it, but it ended up not even being a pin. It was a screw, a wood screw at that. So came out real easy, but I don't think that's the way it came from the factory. This guy kept this thing going. I was able to get both of the rear brake rods disconnected from the third member there, but the front 2 I'm not able to get those, so I'm going to try to take the torque tube off, and hopefully there'll be enough play that I can pull it out of there when the torque tube comes off. But for now I'm going to break all these loose and then we'll see. Okay, I had to apply some heat to those 2 arms, to those 2 brake rods to get them loose, but now they're loose. So I'm going to try to take the torque tube off right now. Hopefully it's not too heavy for me. Oh, okay. I got a problem. That is not what I was expecting. Okay, it looks like the whole axle is going to come out with it. I'm not sure. I still need to do some work here. I think I got it now. Okay, it wasn't pretty, but they're free. So before I get too far, I wanted to show you guys this. I'm not sure why this rod is like that. It's kind of it's got like a shaving started out of it, a big shaving, and there was also one over here. I had to grind it off to get that out, and I saw another one over here. So I don't know, was that from the factory? Is that how they made sure it didn't back off all the way? I don't know, but in order for me to get them out, I'm gonna have to grind them off. So I'm gonna do that, take these out and clean them all up, and then I don't know, maybe I'll weld them up and grind them back nice and smooth, because I don't really think you need them. Okay, I got it up here on the bench, and I'm gonna spend a few hours cleaning it up. I think it's got a lot of old grease and oil on it, and it's all got to come off. So that's my next project. I'm gonna turn off the camera because that gets pretty boring. So I'll see you in a little while, and I'll show you what I've done. All right, that was a long day working on the rear end. It's really not in that bad a shape. It's in pretty good shape. So I am expecting just to finish up the pinion gear, take that apart and clean it, and then reassemble the whole thing. One of my buddies in the Dodge Club told me to make sure that I replace the bolts around the ring gear. He says they're very soft and they tend to shear off. I don't know this for a fact, but he seems to know it for a fact, so I'm going to take his word for it and replace those. Other than that, I wanted to say thank you to all of the people that purchased a poster from us, one of the limited edition prints. It helps us out. You know, it's not cheap to restore a car, and we're just a family, so it does help out. We appreciate it, and if you haven't bought one already, go ahead and go over to shoprollinghistory.com and buy one. And thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time.